YouTube podcast world. What's up, family? You already know the name, man. Pays and Plays podcast here. Going to be giving y'all week 12 of the NFL. Yes, we're already 3 months in. Got a whole nother month for some change to go. So as far as regular season, so let's get right into it though. We went 1-1 last week, and Chiefs. If they would have stopped Josh Allen that 4th and 2, y'all know they would have won that game, bro. What was it, 23-21 Buffalo before that play happened? So, it'd be like that. Chargers, we glad they almost disaster that whole game, but we glad they were able to wake up and call it game. And also follow the Instagram page, man. Pays and Plays _podcast. I will have maybe certain bets that I have on story. We took I had Syracuse +9. I said it was Playboy +8.5 Saturday. They went the cow. They not only they covered, they won outright. Not even close. So shout out to that overall 2-1 week. We'll take that. So let's get right into it though. We make it the first official best bet while we at it. Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns. I got the Steelers. I got it at 4.5. I still will play that 3.5. I'm taking the Steelers to win and cover. That's the best bet for me. And this Browns team, you feel like this defense is done, right? I didn't watch the game against the Saints, yes, but when I saw the ticker and it was 14-14, I'm like, okay, Browns may have a chance. Then I looked up, it was 35-14, and I'm like, what the hell is this defense? Like, bro, this defense, bro, I don't really know what to call it. I know it's a divisional game, so it's gonna be a lot closer. And if you're Pittsburgh, I mean, listen, they had 6 field goals. So all their points was all field goals. But this is my thing, man. If you could score about 4 field goals and kick and maybe score at 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns against this Cleveland team, with this defense Pittsburgh has, that we see J-Mo has problems when, the pass rush is coming towards them. Look at that Chargers game. That's kind of a similarity. I don't see how the Colts can, I mean, how the Browns can't hang in this game. I just can't see it. So I'm going with the Steelers -4.5. 3.5 is also playable too. You can make that the best bet for me. And I know it's Thursday night football, so I'm aware of what day it is too. Trust me, I know. Next game, we got the Minnesota Vikings traveling Chicago, the Bears. Bears 3.5 point underdogs. I got the Bears to cover. Vikings to win. Not a lot of science behind it, man. And I will say, Caleb Williams is starting to throw the ball a little quicker. He's not holding the ball as long as he usually has. They got a new OC in, so you know how that goes. But this Bears team, bro. See, he's stagnant on them because yet you get look at the Vikings. Sam Darnold is just not playing well. I think part of the problem with the Vikings is offensively, I would say, is the fact that they lost a right tackle. So that's how they got Cam Robinson in the trade, I guess. Ever since he's been gone, I've kind of see what people talking about. Why is Aaron Jones not running the ball productively? You would think this game, because he has muscle memory of dealing with the Bears, you would think this is the game he steps up. And that's kind of what I'm banking on. We know JJ is going to show up. We know Addison's going to show up. It is just, can this run game get the going that they need against this Bears team? And if they do that, I can't see how they lose against the Bears, bro. But I do think for some reason the Bears will have a fighter's chance. And I think they cover, but I think they come up short at the end of the day. Next game, you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to New York to take on, well, New Jersey, the Meadowlands, to take on the Giants. Giants 5.5 point underdogs. Give me the Giants to cover, Bucks to win. Not too much science on this one, man. I know the Giants aren't a good team, but here's the catch. Both teams, both of them are coming off buys. I don't really know what that can mean for one or the other, honestly. I know the Buccaneers have been playing some tough games where they've been in it, right? Against the 49ers, they've been tough. Against the Chiefs, they've been tough. And Baker Mayfield is doing everything he can to make sure this team can win. I can't say that. I thought he was going to regress, but he has not regressed. They're battling with a lot of injuries on top of that. So I kind of understand why it's been so hard of a hassle for the Buccaneers. But I do think they covered this game. But 5.5, I don't know. I'm a little weary on that. And guys, please check out the weather, okay? Because now we at this time of the year where it's about to get a lot of cold, and if it's certain games outside where, let's be real, we already know a Florida team playing against a team up in New Jersey or whatever they have, we'll call it tri-state area or whatever. 40, 30 degrees to them is cold, while to them that's normal. And it is an outside game. So I want guys to start paying attention about some of these matchups where you're looking at different regions going into colder climates, right? So obviously Tampa Bay is a perfect example. So I just want you guys to be aware of that. But I do think Tampa wins this game. The 5.5, though, I'm very unsure on that for them to cover. Next game, we got the New England Patriots traveling to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Dolphins 7-point favorites. I got Dolphins to win and cover. New England typically just doesn't do good at Miami, so that's kind of my belief behind it. Drake May has, listen, Drake May is definitely shown that he's the guy, right? I I did say, they had a chance to beat the Rams. They didn't cover the 4.5 because they lost by 6, but at one point it was kind of right there until they had to come back from all the way behind. But listen, man, Miami now has a whole rejuvenation with Tua back. And I mentioned it last week. I mean, they were right there between them and the Jets for making the playoffs. They're kind of on the outside. They're not really that far off. So if they win, listen, if they maybe lose one more game, two more games out the season, I think they can still make the playoffs. They tell you how possible it is for Miami to run the table. So I'll be taking Miami to win and cover. Next game, you got the Tennessee Titans traveling to Houston, take on the Texans. Texans 8.5 point favorites. Give me the Titans to cover, Texans to win. I mean, 8.5. Come on, bro. I mean, honestly, look, I know they beat Dallas last night and they were 7.5 point favorites, and I was saying them to win and cover, but that game was so crap. It looked like Texans was trying to give them that game to cover at least. It was so many times when I was looking at the score when I'm like, damn, so the Cowboys is really in this game. And then eventually I just looked and was like, oh, I saw how it went. Joe Mixon in the running game. That might be the ultimate key against the Titans, because Titans, their defense is definitely top 10, top 15. You can argue with me all you want, but they have been proving that. But you can't run this Titans defense. So that's the thing. If they get that if they did what they did against Dallas, bro, I see them covering. They got Joe Mixon involved, and then everybody else just play behind the run. And honestly, when you got a young quarterback with CJ Stroud, that is what you're supposed to do. When you look at the Titans offensively, they just don't have it. I mean, Will Levis got better, but that was against the first half of the Vikings. After that, he kind of was non-existent. So I'm going with the Texans to win, Titans to cover. Definitely a good teaser option for the Texans. Next game, we got the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Charlotte, take on the Carolina Panthers. Keep pounding. Panthers 10.5 point underdogs. Panthers to cover, Chiefs to win. I mean, I've been saying this like every week when it comes to Kansas City and these big spreads. So, you would think the motivation from the maybe cover is the fact that they did just lose a game. And maybe they're a little ticked off about it because that was a game they could have won. But Carolina coming fresh off a bye week, fresh off winning 2 games in a row. So we'll see how they do, man. But, I'm not touching these high spreads. We already know that. Next game, we got the Detroit Lions traveling to Indianapolis, take on the Colts. Colts 7.5 point underdogs. Give me the Colts to cover, Lions to win. And I know people keep saying like, "Oh, you're not picking the Lions," but I want people to think about this. This week coming up, 4 days after that game, you play Chicago on Thanksgiving. So this could be a look ahead spot where they're just trying to say, "Hey, let's get this game over with. Let's get it in, get it in, get it out." All right. But, the Colts, I mean, we saw what AR, bro. And the one thing that someone has always said that I respected his opinion on is saying that Anthony Richardson is like a Joker card. You don't know what you're getting out of him. And I mean, that Jets game kind of showed what it is. And in this game will probably be the same way, right? I mean, I'm just saying, this Colts team has been better throughout the last few weeks. And I'm not saying they're going to beat the Lions, but this could be a spot where the Lions could be held vulnerable, right? Like I said, it's a look ahead spot. We already know what they got going on. They are the number one team in the NFL now. So also that is some things you have to consider. When you are that top dog, other teams are trying to get you, at least beat you once. They may not make the playoffs, but they at least trying to get you. And with this attack with the Colts, man, we know JT's gonna get his yards. We know AR gonna get his. So I guess we'll just really find out if Lions can cover the 7.5 points. But definitely a good teaser option though. Next game, we got the San Francisco 49ers traveling to Green Bay, take on the Packers. Packers 1.5 point favorites. Give me the Packers to win and cover. I don't know what's going on with this 49ers team. I think people are starting to figure out how this team is. I mean, you lose to Seattle. Okay, I can accept that. Division loss. I can accept that. That's how that goes in the division. But, you watch that Tampa Bay game, they looked kind of rusty. And I know everyone's going to talk about McCaffrey's back, but it's sometimes about Brock Purdy. And I've been saying it, if you can pressure Brock Purdy, he's not doing all the amazing stuff that people see. I've been saying this, and if it's one, I mean, the Packers, they got the Caleb Williams. It's that Caleb Williams is athletic enough to run off the pocket. I don't think Purdy's doing the same type of explosive plays that Caleb Williams can do. And that's kind of why I'm banking on it. And yes, McFleur and Shanahan, they both know one another. But LaFleur, I think he has to get this one. I think this means more to him than Kyle Shanahan, even though the 49ers are on verge of not possibly making the playoffs. But so is the Packers. They still in the hunt too. So home field, I'm gonna have to go to Packers 1.5. I'm so close to making it the best bet because this game seems dire desperation. Even though they won against the Bears, which they shouldn't have, this game at home should solidify them to be in the playoffs. Next game, you got the Arizona Cardinals traveling to Seattle. Seattle, 1 point favorite. Make it the best bet, baby. Give me Seattle -1. I like what they done. Okay, I told you guys about Seattle. Tough. They can go toe to toe with anybody. They may come up short at times, but hell, against the 49ers, they were 6.5 point underdogs. I said Seattle to win and cover. I mean, Seattle to cover, 49ers to win. I didn't expect the 49ers to lose like that. So, division game, man, and I know Cardinals fresh off a bye, but I think if you're the Seahawks, bro, you got some momentum after that win against the 49ers, man. I just need y'all to cover that 7.5 point, the 7.5 games wins. We're on the verge. We need three more. Okay. We got the last month of some change coming up. I think we can beat Arizona, right? Now, I look at Arizona as this. They play great at home. Amazing at home. How many times have I gave you guys that? They play great at home. It's just on the road, I'm going to wonder because when you don't have a pass rush, I mean, you can really barely really stop the run. That's just what my concern is going to be with them. It's the defensive side. I know the offensive side, we know about Connor, Murray, we know what they can do. It's the defensive side that I'm going to worry about because when you don't have a pass rush, Geno Smith has bled the lead in yards this year, and it shows that he can sit back in the pocket and, if you give him time and then you give him a healthy DK, like it's always really all up to DK. If DK plays like he's supposed to be playing, like he played last week, I don't see how this team should lose, honestly. Next game, you got Sunday Night Football. You got the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to LA to take on the Rams. Rams, 2.5 point underdogs. I got the Eagles to win and to cover. But there's one thing that I might experiment. I told somebody about this the other day, and I realized this throughout the season that this is something that I think a lot of people haven't really talked about. The Eagles don't score in the first quarter. I don't know why they don't. I mean, I have no idea why they decide not to score in the first quarter. So this is my thought. Consider looking at the Rams first quarter money line or first quarter spread. I think that would be a great choice because, like I said, Philly don't score points. If the Rams can at least score a touchdown, 3 points, if it's 7-0, 3-0, 10-0 in the first quarter, we cash. Now, I think Philly wakes up after that like they've been doing, but I watched the game last week, Thursday Night Football against the Commanders. It was 7-0 Commanders for the first quarter. Remember, weeks ago when I picked Philly to beat Cincinnati as the best bet. Cincinnati scored in the first quarter, Philly didn't, and then Philly woke up. I don't really know what the ideal is with Sirianni. I don't know. It's like wake up after the first quarter, but I think this is something we might have to target. That- just a food for thought. That's all. Next game. Oh, and I didn't do an earlier game. I'm gonna do this one, and then we gonna go to the Monday Night Football game. Commanders, Cowboys. I saw it was 9.5, 10. Bro, I say Commanders to win and cover. I mean, we saw that debacle with the Cowboys. I say tease that down. If you can see 9.5 at the Commanders, tease that down with 7, make it 2.5. That's my little shortcut period for that game. And lastly, we got Monday Night Football, which is of course in LA. So we got two primetime games in LA this week. We got the Chargers and the Ravens. Chargers plus 3-point underdogs. Give me the Chargers to win and cover. Make it the best bet too. You know what? Make it the best bet. Chargers plus 3. And give me the money line. Why not? This game right here with the Ravens, do they need this game? Yes. But here's my problem with the Ravens, bro. It's been their defense. Yes, they played against the Steelers, which is a division game. If you know Steelers and Ravens games, them games is always nasty games. Okay. I'm looking at it as far as yes, I know the Harbaugh brothers are coaching against one another again too. But what I'm also looking at is that Herbert's been throwing that ball down the field, bro. I mean, Herbert's making the passes where you're like, and the receiver core isn't the best receiver core, but when you're under Jim Harbaugh, I don't think that even matters, bro. And they're running the ball. So you ask me, who has the better defense? The Chargers do. Speak, please stop being biased to people who are Ravens fans. Our defense isn't that good this year. Okay. Other than last week that y'all had a good performance on, defense hasn't been that good. Y'all played against Cincinnati, and this Chargers team played against Cincinnati, did the same thing to Cincinnati defense. Cincinnati torched y'all. That's just like by similarity. If the Bengals can torch you, you think the Chargers can? And it's the same. I mean, I don't know, bro. It's this Chargers team, everyone's trying to like sleep on them, and I've been one of the first few people that actually been on them. Number one defense, Harbaugh has good offensive efficiency with this team, which people was wondering how would they do it, but listen, they're gonna ground and pound the Ravens, and then when the Ravens think they're gonna run the ball, watch Herbert throw a 50-yard bomb somewhere on a 2nd and 1. That's something that they would do, but only the Chargers can do something like that because Herbert is a gunslinger, bro. So I mean, listen, I think this week, and I'm gonna give you a teaser option right here as I'm looking right at it. If you give me a teaser, I thought of 4 teams, 7 points. That could be real realistic for you guys. Give me the Dolphins, 7 points, tease that down. They just got to win. Texans, 8.5, tease it down, make it 1.5. Lions, 7.5, tease that down, make it a half. They just got to win by one or more. And the Chargers take it from +3, make it up to +10. They go to a 7-point teaser, 4 teams. So look at that. I gave y'all picks and I gave you our teaser parlay, which I think last week parlayed it too. So you're welcome. As always, guys, like, comment, subscribe, whatever you guys please. Just like the content. That's all I'm really asking. It takes half a second while you guys are actually watching. We make money every week. One of the few channels that make you money every week. I mean, you know. So, as always, guys, be safe out here, man. Let's get this bread, bro.